get the traditional cigarette to start the show there, Mike.
Yeah.
We're pretty much experts, and we're back again.
That's a cigarette?
It is.
I thought you were just smoking dope all the time.
I mix them in. I pepper them in. I got a couple here. One's dope,
Ooh.
two are not. You pick.
Yeah.
The guy in the van in the raccoon photo behind him that has one's dope and two are not cigarettes is my co-host Mike.
Hello.
And the other co-host over there is my brother Skyler.
Oh, hey, everybody. Didn't see you there.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. Didn't hear you come in. Put your feet up. Get a nice glass of brandy.
I got a pair of slippers
Relax.
for Christmas from my friend's mom. I've never had a pair of slippers in my life, and these are life-changing gifts.
You know, it's
Yeah.
fantastic. The older you get, I guess the worse your blood flow is, maybe, possibly.
Yeah.
Your feet
Yeah.
just get cold.
And
you
they're
know?
just comfortable to just, like, lounge around in.
Yeah.
I
dig it.
used to have, this is not 2019 PC whatsoever, but I used to have these, like, tells, as I'd say, for, like, spotting a gay person. And one of them was slippers.
Yeah. The other one was a
Okay.
dick in their mouth.
No. Like, if you see, like, a man with an umbrella, probably gay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I could dig it. Or
Yeah.
like a man who wears, like, even bracelets. Multiple bracelets.
Because, like, I feel like straight
Multiple
peop-
bracelets?
Yeah, but I'm also counting, like, goddamn festival wristbands as a bracelet. That's a fashion now.
No, that doesn't count.
Okay.
I'm thinking like they're clanging around, right?
Yeah, if there's some
Like
claim,
hospital bracelets?
Also not what I'm talking about.
basically
It does not make
basically
you
a
gay if you go to the hospital.
Okay,
Good to know.
let's get off this taboo subject before we get in trouble.
Yeah.
Fuck.
This is 2019.
Everyone's already tuned
But
out.
yeah,
Thanks for coming by.
putting their slippers on.
yeah, I'm keeping my slippers. I'm switching teams. I'm down.
When I was giving away everything and getting rid of everything to move into the van and take off, I had a internal debate with myself, and like I had the slippers in my hand. I was like, do I want these? Do I need these? Haven't worn them in X amount of months, and I was like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna be living in the van. I'm gonna stay comfortable.
Yeah. I feel like your internet just went to shit right there for me.
Is it him or me? I don't know. He got super
Oh, it's me.
slow on mine. See, I feel like I never ever used to wear like pajama pants.
Oh, you're gonna say deodorant, and I'd say nothing has changed.
No, I don't wear that either.
God no.
But do you wear deodorant or you just put it on?
No,
I
you
don't
you get that shit for Christmas and it stays in its original packaging until next year.
Yeah, you keep
Oh,
the
I have
stick
to-
cap on it
Yeah,
and you
I-
just fucking leave.
Fuck
I
deodorant.
live by the fucking deodorant code, man. I gotta.
Why?
You know, I'm only
Yeah.
showering every 3 days. I
I
fucking load up on that stuff.
I just let people have to, smell the goods. Shower every 3 days, no deodorant, no shampoo.
I wear so much deodorant I could choke a Gino.
Smell Persian in that van.
Smell Persian, smell Armenian in this bitch.
I don't see any golden curtain rods.
They're hidden, man. I don't want to give all my secrets away.
But so I hate pajama pants. I don't like when I see people out in public wearing pajama
Oh
pants.
yeah, you don't go in public with them.
I can't
Like, don't go get
stand
your
that.
groceries.
Yeah.
But the roommate actually gave me a pair of pajama pants the other day because I guess I was always walking around in the buff that she was like, here, why don't you try these pajama pants? And you know what? They're okay.
Tired of
Do you
seeing
wear
your ass.
underwear under them or you go raw?
Yeah, no, never raw.
See,
Why
I'm
not?
not that hard, kid. I don't know, because I'm usually wearing my underwear anyway, so it's just like a slip-on, slip-off
No,
kind
I
of
think
thing.
that's where you're fucking up.
Yeah.
You gotta go raw.
Is that where I'm fucking up?
Because they're soft. The pajama
Yeah.
pants
Mm,
keep it raw.
I can't remember last time.
Like
I
they
just- I
count
don't
as
think
underwear. It's like
pants.
long johns.
Yeah. See, and they don't have
Yeah.
pockets. I don't like that they don't have pockets. I like a good pocket. I like to fall asleep with change in my pockets. But yeah, that's.
Well,
I
there
think
is a
that's
pocket if
that's
you're
it
creative.
For my hot takes. What's that?
I said there is a pocket if you're creative.
You mean nature's pocket?
Nature's pocket.
Yeah, we all got it.
Yeah, nature's pocket.
Nature's pocket. Yeah, that's where you put the drugs on the airplane.
Yeah, yeah. Unless you're flying domestic, because now you can just get on with your drugs.
Some drugs.
Some drugs.
Yeah. I usually keep my chapstick in my nature's pocket.
Oh, that's another
Yeah.
that's another red flag in my book for our first subject. Chapstick.
Chapstick. If you're applying chapstick publicly.
If you're applying chapstick publicly as a male, hold your slippers. An umbrella.
Yeah.
Oh no. Alright.
Yeah.
So what's this week about?
We're gonna talk
What's this week's
about
episode?
fucking aliens suggested by one of our users, our Facebook users sent in some messages like, here are some ideas for shows, and aliens was too broad a subject because we're gonna run out of ideas real fucking quick, as if we already haven't. But we're gonna focus down on just Roswell. We're gonna start with the biggest and first alien encounter.
Yeah, I guess the one that
in
really kicked it off,
quotations.
eh?
The first one that's like, I guess, like documented as like a live event, not just some Sumerian fucking text that has some black dots in the sky and they're like, oh, what the hell's that then?
Yeah. That's fair. Okay. Like in the first one in the last 100 years, like, I don't know. Like, is that a way to put it? I don't even know how you put it.
I guess it's like the most recognizable.
Yeah.
Right? The first one that was like, I guess, more public knowledge, right? It got national coverage.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. I think it even got a little international coverage.
It did.
But
Yeah, it did, yeah.
But
Which doesn't make it really that much more interesting, to be honest. 70
No.
years later, and it's like even more, it's way more boring than it would have been in the 50s, like, when shit was jumping off. And, like, people were actually scared for their lives because this is a very real possibility. Now it's just like, fuck off.
see, but like, could you imagine being back then? Like, you turn on your radio and they're just like, it's like, do, like, we found aliens, they crashed in Roswell. Tune in tomorrow for more updates.
Blowing
You would
gifts
just be
from the
like
sky.
slamming your head against the wall, just like, oh my god, I can't wait for tomorrow. This
Everyone
is
in the
awesome.
cellar!
Yeah, 1947, this is awesome. You know what I mean? Like, you're just freaking out, and like then you wake up the next day and turn on your radio again, and just like, you know?
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody, it was just a weather balloon.
There
It's
was one
great with the
interesting
weather.
thing that kept coming up, and it was like the term flying saucer. Like, it hadn't really been used up until that point,
right.
or it wasn't
Okay.
like something that everybody understood as an alien.
Yeah.
I always was confused by flying saucer because who the fuck calls a plate a saucer? So when I was like a kid and being
British.
explained like that's where the name came from, I'm like, what the hell is a saucer? Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Also on your list, people who use saucers.
Yeah, if you use the word saucer or cushion,
Yeah. Cushion, yeah. It's a pillow.
it's a fucking pillow.
Oh, terrible.
Okay, so I have the timeline pulled up from the RoswellTimeline.com. So any inaccuracies are not our fault. But basically, we're going to read through this and then riff off it. And Mike is clearly already so annoyed and tuning
It
out.
was horrible. It was
We'll see
the
if we
worst
can
2 days of my life.
even
looking
get
into
through this
shit.
whole event. So the introduction reads, on July 2nd, 1947, during the evening, which is important to remember, A flying saucer crashed on the Foster Ranch near Corona, New Mexico. The crash occurred during a severe thunderstorm. The nearest military base site was Roswell, New Mexico, so Roswell is more closely associated with the crash than Corona. I feel right away this happened during a thunderstorm explains so many sightings. Like, that could have been anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Who the fuck would notice a crashing UFO during a severe thunderstorm?
Who's outside monitoring the sky in a thunderstorm?
Well, we're going to get to that.
Benjamin Franklin?
His name was William Woody, and him and his father observed a bright, arching light with a red contrail traveling south to north across the sky and then disappearing on the northern horizon. So that's your answer, Mike. William Woody and his father.
Yeah. Fuck that guy and his father.
Fucking Woody.
William fucking Woody. Contrail observing.
I mean, great name. Great name.
Now, where is the military base?
His dad would be called Papa Woody.
To Roswell. Do we know? Like, it just sounds like if it's not aliens, it's coming from that military base.
The military base is, I guess, the closest military base. That's all we got so far based on this website.
Now, do we know though? Like,
we can make up facts.
Sound like
my expert opinion. It's 200 miles away.
Jesus, that's close.
Yeah, within.
All right.
I'm gonna say within.
Within, yeah. Okay.
Within.
Right. Give or take.
So that was highlighted as June/July. So that's not actually a date. Sure. They noticed this in June/July. And then on July 2nd, which happened to be a Wednesday, Mr. and Mrs. Dan Wilmot reported seeing an oval-shaped UFO from their house in South Penn, Roswell, moving northwest towards the crash site. Dan Wilmot estimated being about 1,500 feet in the air and 15 to 20 feet in diameter.
He just fired that off.
He's
honey, it was 50 diameter.
Old Dan
Wilmot.
Dan Wilmot can fucking pull up some facts there. 1,500 feet in the air.
That's fucking high.
Is it high? I don't know anything. Like, how high does a plane fly? That's like 3,500 feet?
No, 1,000 feet.
Okay.
It's not 1,000.
30,000? Yeah, 30,000.
Oh, yeah, it's like 35,000 feet.
Yeah.
35,000.
So 1,500 feet is not high.
No.
Well,
that's like two school buses.
In the 40s?
Two
where there's
school
no building, nothing above a
other.
3-story building. You know? Like, 1,500 feet is like, that's got some Godzilla shit.
Tell me it in school buses.
That's far away.
Can Evel Knievel jump 1,500 feet? No.
Easy.
I think he can do it twice. Back to 3,000.
3,000?
Yeah.
3,000? Make up a number? In all my years.
No, like, I don't know. I feel like this measurements always trip us up, and the conversions.
Yeah, who cares?
Basic math, a.k.a. conversion.
Yeah.
Something that always trips me up is eyewitness reports, which are all bullshit. But in this case, like, what gives this story the most credit is there's like hundreds of eyewitness reports, but right off the bat, we're off to a really shitty start with old Dan Wilmot and his goddamn 1,500 feet and old William Woody observing a contrail during a severe thunderstorm.
And so this is like, are we saying this is like 2 days before the accident?
The accident is on July 2nd. So this is crash night.
This is crash night.
Crash night. So then the next day, Mac Brazel, accompanied by a 7-year-old neighbor, Dee Proctor, discover a large amount of lightweight metallic debris that crashed on a remote pasture. Brazel was the foreman of the Foster Ranch. The pieces were spread over a large area, and when Brazel and Dee drove back home, he showed a piece of the wreckage to Dee's parents, Floyd and Loretta Proctor. It was agreed that the debris was unlike anything seen before. Brazel removes a large circular piece of debris from the debris field and stores it in his shed. So, by process of elimination, it was not shed material because they had never seen anything like it before. Mike, your expert opinion.
I wouldn't have never seen it in my shed, so it must be alien.
Yeah. No, Woody fucking William is done. He just saw a fucking light in the sky like sometime in the month before.
So he was okay.
These are all new characters.
Okay, because
Brazel's a big player.
Leading up to the event, that there was like lots of people in the southwest.
Yeah.
Yeah, down the southwest of America. There was like a lot of UFO sightings in the weeks leading up to the crash in Roswell.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure this is where, like, your boy Woody comes in, whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah, his account was June/July. Like, fucking William Woody doesn't even know what month it was when he saw a red contrail. But now
He knows what a red contrail is.
Yeah, I don't think Woody knows what a contrail is, because I don't know what a contrail is.
No, fuck Woody. Toss his testimony stricken from the record.
Expertly stricken from the record.
Expertly throw it out. I want to hear his name again. Okay.
So the
morning of the crash.
This is the morning.
Brazel.
No, this is the next day.
Little buddy find him. What's he doing hanging out with a 7-year-old?
Well, fuck. I don't know, dude. You gonna Me Too fucking Mac Brazel? 70 years later?
So. I don't okay. Are we just brushing over that part of the story?
What do you think?
Just like everybody else does.
It's a very good fucking question. Why is Mac Brazel hanging out with some 7-year-old neighbor on a pasture in the goddamn middle of nowhere?
Like, how does that start? Like, hey, you want to?
Fishy.
Why don't you? I got something to show you. Like, come with me. And the kid just like, okay.
I'm going to show you something you've never seen before.
Let's not play this one out.
I'm going to show you a shiny object you've never seen before.
Okay, so they find it, and it's not a shed.
Well, it was unlike anything they'd ever seen before. So it was not a shed. It wasn't the genitals of a young boy.
Okay. Yeah. So could have been anything at this point, though.
Except a shed. That's the 100%. It can't be a shed. That's the only thing.
We're good over that.
So then, on the next day, the 5th of July, old Mac Brazel is down in the town of Corona, and he hears about a $3,000 reward for any information on the flying disc. So someone has the word out that the military, the police, everyone is looking for this crash site.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And he's like, I know where it is.
In. He's in one of those catch-22s, though. Now he has to explain why him and little fucking D. Proctor were out in the middle of goddamn nowhere on Foster Ranch alone. But
yeah, he's gonna want to keep that hush hush. You're right. So he's
but that's what the money's for.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Hush money. We've all heard of
hush money.
We're uncovering so many layers to this mystery that we're not even questioned.
Yeah. Wait, you guys. I would have put it down right there and been like, why was this guy hanging out with the kid?
Roswell fucking alien crash is just an elaborate cover-up for some molestation ring in the middle of fucking New Mexico.
It could be.
It could be.
I hope not.
We have just as much evidence explaining a UFO crash as we do a molestation ring.
This is true.
Yeah, you're onto something, you know?
Maybe flying saucer.
Okay, I'll bite.
We're laughing, but I think we're on.
Okay, hold on to me. Hold on to my hands with this one, boys. Flying saucer is a sexual innuendo for when you whip your dick around in a circle. Also,
Okay.
You know, I seen it flying saucers last night. And it could also be like a molestation
But Brazel
ring.
would have known what it was then.
Good point.
He invented it for all we know. You know?
He should get some
Counter-
credit,
Okay.
right? If he invented that move.
Okay, so then a whole day later, so Mac Brazel, even though this is like the 1940s, when you have to take out a bank loan for $15, it takes him a whole day to like go to the Chavez County Sheriff George Wilcox and try to claim his $3,000 reward. That's suspect to me. I feel like he'd be like running out of that diner within seconds of
straight
hearing
there.
about a $3,000 reward. You could buy
$3,000 is some serious hush money.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Serious.
So he takes a cool 24 hours to go get George Wilcox, and Wilcox calls the Roswell Army Airfield and talked to Major Jesse Marshall, an intelligence officer.
Sounds pretty smart.
Yeah, he sounds intelligent. He drove down to the sheriff's office and inspected the wreckage. William Blanchard, Marshall's...
See, this is why. Hold on. This is why this fucking story sucks.
Okay.
Right? It's like we gotta go through all these fucking people that don't mean like nothing to me. They mean absolutely nothing. Can it be less than nothing? Because that's what it means to me right now. Just fuck. Everyone's Bob and Jim and.
I think
cares?
at this stage
You
of
talk
the
to
story,
a guy who talked to a guy who talked to a guy.
we're just
lot of
establishing
hearsay.
that a lot of people have seen this wreckage, and it's unlike
It's like
anything they've ever seen
you're
before.
eating dinner and you're just tossing around your vegetables on your plates. Get to the meat and potatoes. Okay?
Okay,
Fuck that. Bring the dessert in.
so
Yeah,
they,
fuck dinner. I want dessert.
The sweet part.
so they
Yeah,
all.
that's why like these stories fucking suck. And that's why they're clouded in mystery, because it's like gotta go through fucking the
You
chain
just
of
end up
command.
skimming through it and just picking out the good bits.
We can skim
No,
Yeah,
we're
through.
getting to the heart of
let's
it
get to
here,
the-
Mark.
I think
Let's
we're
get to the
this
real.
This is July 6th.
got-
This is the heart of it right now. So anyway, all
Yeah,
these
we're in
guys
the shit.
get in old Mac Brazel's, poontang wagon and drive off to the wreckage to collect as much of it as they can. Soon after this, the military police arrive at the sheriff's office, collect the wreckage Brazel had left there, and deliver the wreckage to Blanchard's office. The wreckage was then flown to the Air Force headquarters in Fort Worth, Texas, and from there to Washington. Marcel and Cavett accompany Brazel back to his car and look for more debris.
Ooh.
So that's interesting.
So they did a first sweep, and they got as much as they could.
And they flew it all the way to goddamn Washington.
After it went to Fort Knox or something.
Fort
Wasn't it?
Worth.
Fort Willis?
Fort Worth.
Fort Worth.
Yeah.
Isn't that where Nixon or Kennedy was shot?
Yeah,
Fort
it's in
Worth?
Dallas.
What happened in... Something else happened in Fort Worth.
I think that's
They
where the
built the
Dallas
fort.
Stars play.
Probably not. Not even close.
I'm sure it is. Fort Worth is like a nice neighborhood like north of Dallas. It's like a suburb.
Have you ever been?
No, but I have like intel.
You have no fucking intel. Anyways, back to the story.
Sources tell me it's a nice place to live.
Okay. So I found that interesting that the military did take certain steps to remove that wreckage and brought it to that military base, and then they did send it again to Washington. Apparently, Eisenhower wanted to see it firsthand.
Yeah.
President Eisenhower at the time.
He's an expert
Yeah, so
in
it's
materials.
they're basically like they're telling you in a roundabout way that it's more than fucking,
a weather balloon.
toothpicks and duct tape and a weather balloon. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
It's not just a bunch of tinfoil on the ground.
tinfoil and balsam wood.
Yeah.
But I feel like too there was the military told the press on like the first day that it was a an
Weather
alien spacecraft that they had found.
Well, we'll get to
That's
that.
what they
You're jumping the
reported.
timeline, bro.
Am I jumping the?
You're
Okay,
jumping
I'm
the
sorry.
timeline.
I thought that was the end of the story. Like they got in the car and they drove
Oh,
away.
no, this is still July 6th.
Pictured there was a
Happily ever
sunset.
after.
But okay.
There was a red
But so-
fucking contrail across that sunset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next day
Right.
of the 7th, Marcel and Cavett collect wreckage from the crash site, and after filling Cavett's vehicle with as much wreckage as they could, he told them to go on ahead and collect more wreckage, and they would meet later back in Roswell. Marcel filled his vehicle with wreckage, and on the way back to the airfield, Marcel stopped off at home around 1 to 2 a.m. to show his wife and son the strange material. Both him and his wife and son Jesse
Made
Jr.
love.
fucking examined the debris Jesse Sr. had brought home. Fucking Jesse Jr. remembers that pink, purple, and lavender symbols. Well, there's a goddamn red flag, the L word used to describe purple.
Light purple.
Fucking symbols across the center section of some of the small metallic I-beams and debris. Around 4 p.m., so this fucking 14 hours later, Linda...
Now hold on, before you go any further,
Yes.
like this is interesting because I read about this guy
Jesse Jr. in his fucking lavender description.
in his lavender description that in his later years he actually commissioned somebody to make a replica piece of metal of what he saw that day. And I saw a picture of it, and it's like it kind of looks like lavender writing, I guess, right? But it's like
I feel like you're calling bullshit right away.
I couldn't believe that he had paid somebody to be like, can you just make this from my mind, basically, and I'll tote it around and tell everyone that this is what I saw that day. But I also read that, like, someone's also description that they gave was that it had, like, scotch tape and masking tape on it, and that the lavender printing was actually flowers. Like, it was, like,
Just mixed in.
masking tape with, like, a flower print on it.
Okay. So Jesse's
They
got to
did
be
that in
pretty
the
fucking
40s?
dumb.
In the 40s? Who knows what they had in the 40s?
Yeah, who
47,
knows?
baby.
Who knows?
Yeah, it's a big year.
That's almost, like, we're almost at the halfway point of the millennia.
Yeah,
Century.
we're like
They
15
had all
years
kinds
away
of
from
stuff.
a man
I
on the
don't know.
moon.
Yeah, they had it all.
Okay, so around 4 p.m., a cool 12 hours later, Lydia Sleppy at the Roswell radio station KSWS began transmitting a story on the teletype machine regarding a crashed flying saucer out on the Foster Ranch.
What the fuck is a teletype?
Yeah, say,
machine?
see, they had everything.
That's
They had it all.
that fucking machine you were just doing the voice of. The boop, 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 boop,
Oh, is that what that is? I thought that was a radio. Okay.
boop. That's not a radio. But then the transmission was interrupted, seemingly by the FBI. That's just hogwash. That could have been anything. Could
Yeah,
just
that's
be
bullshit.
a proper functioning teletype machine just doesn't fucking work. Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah. This is the FBI. Must be.
So,
Oh,
yeah,
fuck
we're
yeah.
poking a lot of holes
Does
in
it
this
say what they
official
cut
story.
to? What did they cut to?
Probably
if it was intercepted.
like some Al Jolston.
Okay,
Bing
okay.
Crosby or something.
Bing Crosby.
Do you think you could smell the blackface through the radio?
Yeah,
you
they
could.
could
You could
definitely.
smell the shoe
You
polish.
You could hear him applying the makeup,
Hear
just a
it.
couple sloshes, and then a murmur.
Terrible.
Yeah, as soon as you hear that, you know.
Yeah, oh, he's putting on his blackface.
Now, is this before or after Orson Welles has done War of the Worlds? Do we know? Do we know when that was?
I could throw it on my phone Google real quick.
Can we? I mean,
I wanna
can
say
we
that
ask
was
the
the
producers?
We
think
can
that's
ask
what you're
Mike,
trying-
the expert, first, and then I'll follow up with secondary expert opinion.
Yeah, Mike the expert was.
Why am I the expert on this? I'm gonna say
Oh.
1953.
You look the most like Orson Welles.
You're like our fucking. You're the man on the street right now. I thought you were down.
Oh
with
yeah,
it.
yeah. Well, I'm
You are
down
in
with
a
the beat
van.
on the street,
Yeah.
and I've been living
You're
in the
knocking
van
heads,
since
knocking boots with
1947.
The people.
Yeah, I am. But very rarely does Orson Welles come up in conversation.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 1953.
Okay, 53.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say like 28 before the Great Depression.
28.
Yeah.
Wow.
You guys are both dead wrong. It was 1938.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pre the Great War.
No, it's
Yeah, yeah.
post the Great War.
No. What one was the Great
pre
War?
the second. Yeah, pre the Second Great War.
Yeah, post the Great War, pre the Greater War.
The most Great War.
Yeah. The recent Great War.
So you're saying, basically what you're alluding to is that they have some, like, it's not like this is completely fabricated from their own imagination. Like, they have something to base their opinions on.
Yeah, but even like 10 years is a lot. Like, I don't know.
Especially in 1940s time. Like, you don't
And
remember
how many
anything.
people read
They
in
don't even know how to read
1947?
back then. They used teletype
Yeah,
machines.
I don't know if everyone knows how to read.
But they probably remember the great tale of Orson Welles and the War of the Worlds.
Their names are Woody Woodrow. They don't remember shit.
Okay, all right. Maybe I'm giving them too much credit. I'm just saying though, like, so I feel like they've like, you know, they've already had the alien scare once, and B, maybe they're like ready for Independence Day Part 2 is all I'm, you know. So when
Okay.
Roswell hits, people are ready to like accept. Like I say, like,
Well, yeah,
there was
what else are you
reports
doing
of-
in the 40s,
lots of
right?
reports
Like, you're
of it
playing with your
beforehand
hoop
of-
and your stick. Like, what else you do? You just got to dream up these imaginary things, right? You got nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Playing Duck, Duck,
Maybe.
Goose, like, that gets old quick.
Okay, so moving
People
on.
want something new.
Moving on.
Yeah.
The next day, July 8th, Blanchard dictates a press release on the recovery of a flying disc to PIOW Walter Hott. Hott goes into town and delivers the press release to the radio stations and newspaper. His first station is KGFL, where he gives the press
Okay.
release live to the nation. The information is put out on the AP wire and arrives to Washington, D.C., carrying out special team of photographers, blah, blah, blah. Oh, my boy's back. William Woody and his father, still curious about their sighting.
No, he's been stricken. I struck him.
He's back.
Can't come back. I struck him out.
He's heard it on the radio, so he's going to come back to town. So they do listen to the
Okay.
radio in this part of the world.
There you go.
He listens to KGFL, sweating to the oldies.
Which is the most current
Which is
music
just
on
top
the radio,
40.
which is
Yeah, Woody.
Still the
totally
first
relevant.
music ever. Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Sweating
a,
to the
that's a fucking
nowies.
category, just first music ever. Just
First
pops
music
and
ever.
cracks and like, can you hear it? Can you hear my voice?
Yeah.
It's working.
Oh.
So fucking William Woody and his father, Papa Woody, still curious about their sighting.
Papa Boner.
They fucking set out on Highway 285 north of Roswell toward Ramon. The military had all side roads and tracks from 285 north blocked off. A few miles south of Ramon is a turnoff to Highway 247. This is very important news. Which would take
Absolutely.
you by the general area of the Foster Ranch. But this exit was also blocked. So they turned away and went home. Why the fuck did I just read that paragraph? God damn it.
Dude, I've been
You
thinking
probably
that
should
for
have read
30
this
minutes.
beforehand.
Mike's, I should have done some research. But the
Yeah.
news of the res-
Well, clearly they're like just driving around, killing time,
Driving
probably
around.
drunk.
and they had the
And, like-
wherewithal to go and report that they drove around all fucking day to somebody who took it down. We took 285 north and
And
it
I
was
think
blocked.
it adds to my before. Like, I struck him from the record.
Yeah.
It's like, you get out of here. And they even said it back then. Like, get out of here, Woody.
Fucking Woody.
We already fucking listened to you.
Your father.
Yeah, your father making shit up again. Get out. And even this fucking Brazel guy going back to his shed and taking all day to get his parts together. I'm not buying
Oh,
it.
my parts.
Not fucking buying it.
Okay, so the news of the recovery spreads across the news wires. Phone lines at the base light up, blah, blah, blah. The only newspaper that carried the initial flying saucer version of the story were newspapers from the Midwest. and going westward. So that's the Chicago Daily News, Los Angeles Herald, San Francisco Examiner, and the Roswell Daily Record. Well, that's a big fucking newspaper to be covered in, the goddamn Roswell Daily Record.
The Record fucking covered it. My God.
Wow.
The New York
Yeah.
Times, the Washington Post, and the Chicago Tribune
All
didn't
trash
didn't
compared
report
to the Record.
they didn't report the initial response, but carried the cover-up stories the next morning.
So basically, like, we all know that when it was first released that they said, flying saucer discovered, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then immediately retract that and say,
Weather balloon.
oh, sorry, we fucked up. It was a weather balloon.
Yep.
And they released those
Yeah.
photos, or that photo of whoever sitting
Yeah,
on
the
the
guy-
ground with a bunch of tin
Yeah.
foil and some fucking tongue depressors.
Yeah. Yeah, we all saw the photo.
Fishy.
Yeah.
Fishy as fuck.
Yeah. I mean, this is where.
Listen,
This
if you are like, you know, in the military, you have, you know, some whatever fucking title, you're a guy in the know, you're
Yeah.
part of whatever fucking string of the military. If you see a fucking deflated weather balloon on the ground, you're not going to be like, out of worldly. You know, you're not going to freak out and be like, and fucking run to the neighbor's house. You're like, that's you know, a broken weather balloon. Big deal. You're not flying a fucking broken weather balloon to Washington.
That's the thing that, because even if you go with, like, okay, so it was a weather balloon, here we are on the fucking whatever date it is, and the cleanup continues at the crash site. Brazel is flown back to the base and leaves and is met by Walt Whitmore of the radio station, who interviews him about the find. Blanchard visits the debris field and impact site with his staff. A second flight from Washington, D.C. arrives at the base. Rickett gives the crew a sealed box filled with debris, and a plane returns shortly to Washington. This is the fourth flight out that day. And the Roswell Daily Record carries an RAAF captures flying saucer headline. So this is a lot of goddamn flying around the nation, bringing people in and out of D.C. for a weather balloon.
Yeah,
Maybe
for a
Amelia
goddamn
Earhart was. They thought she was in it.
Okay, what's your expert opinion on when the fuck Amelia Earhart crashed into the Pacific Ocean? Before or after?
Probably like
after.
1912.
All right.
After the Great War. You're saying pre-Great War,
Pre-Great
right?
War?
Middle of Great War? I'm going to say 1917. 1918.
No, that was like when the Great War was at its height. There was no way they're letting a woman fly around the
Wow.
Well,
world.
right after. When was it after? 1922?
It was pre the Great War. 1937.
Pre-Great War.
The Second Great War.
Oh,
What year was it?
pre the Greater War. Wait, now I'm confused.
37.
So here it is, like,
It was almost the
boys,
same
here
time
it
as...
comes. Like, hey,
Yeah.
like,
This is all fucking tying
the
up
people in
nicely.
1947 are ready for a second alien attack, and two, everyone's on the lookout for Amelia. Like, of course they're gonna fucking, like, just close down all the roads, get all the military out here.
Oh, no
Maybe
wonder
she
she
went to
crashed.
space.
Her plane was made of tinfoil.
Yeah.
If that was
Balsa
her.
wood.
Yeah.
Where's John
Jesus.
Noonan? They said. No one said that.
No.
That was
no
the
one
name
said
of
that.
the other guy on her plane. That's a different episode. Tune in later
Okay.
for more John Noonan
We'll
stories.
get to John Noonan later. But
People can't wait.
returning back to 1947, Sergeant
Salvate Noonan.
Melvin Brown looks under the tarp on the back of a truck at the impact site and sees several bodies. Glenn Dennis, a local mortician, is interviewed by the military and asks several questions about tissue preservation procedures and if he has access to
And
the smallest
penises.
caskets available. The truck carrying the bodies
Children.
arrives.
Bunch of children.
It could be children.
Brazel, what did you do?
This is
Yeah,
back to this.
this is Brazel's cover-up.
Flying
That's what
saucer
this
is code for pedophilia ring.
Yeah. We can't tell
And
the world
spinning
about
your
this.
dick around
Tell
and-
them it was a flying saucer.
It's a flying saucer. Come back to my room for a flying saucer.
Is that the new Mexican accent?
That's the new 1940s accent.
Come see my flying saucer, sir.
Get flying saucer in the eyes. The pathologist, Dr. Jesse Johnson Jr. These fucking names are all out of a Stan Lee comic book. Attempts a preliminary autopsy. Fucking Dennis.
He turned into Venom.
Glenn Dennis tries to visit the base hospital but is turned away forcibly. A nurse friend warns him to leave before he gets in trouble. And then at 8:30...
You better get out of here, Glenn.
His nurse friend.
You want none of this.
Nurse friend is definitely like wink wink roommate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then July 9th, the next day, the troops continue to clean up the crash site. And at the base, 3 C-54s begin loaded with crates filled with debris. And then they warn Walt Whitman Sr. to stop broadcasting an interview with Brazel, and a representative of the FCC threatens to pull the broadcasting license. Officers from the base locate Brazel, who had stayed with Whitmore, wink wink, and returned him to the base for questioning. Brazel is taken by the military to the office of Roswell Daily Record, where he gives a revised, sanitized version of his story. The crate with the bodies is moved to the hangar to bomb pit number 1. Officers from the base visit the newspaper and radio offices in town and recover all copies of the original press release and revise the story to the more sanitized version with the downed weather balloon.
So what was Walt Whitman doing there?
Walt Whitman, let's scan back up.
He was interviewing Brazel.
He works at the radio station.
Like the Walt Whitman.
I think it's a different Walt Whitman. It might
I think
be.
you would change your name if it was Walt. If your name was Walt Whitman, and there's a way
Walt
better
Whitman
fucking
Senior.
Walt Whitman out there.
There might be. It might be the Walt Whitman.
You know what I mean? Like, this isn't Spartacus. Just fucking claim the guy. Like, come on. I don't know.
Well,
I stopped listening after you said Walt Whitman was there.
Well,
like,
like,
what? Is he just writing books about
everyone's
it?
fucking name just rhymes first and last letter. So
Yeah.
maybe it's
Oh,
just
I
really
know.
common back then.
Mm-hmm.
William Woody and
So they said they found bodies.
yes.
Yeah.
And a local mortician says he was asked about tissue preservation like procedures.
Yeah.
And
I've seen interviews with the actual I guess he would be the mortician for the military base that all the military dudes came from.
that might be Glenn
And I
Dennis
saw that-
who we got here, yeah.
And I saw the dude that, like the guy that made the caskets, the 4 caskets for the, I guess,
Yep.
the children, we'll call them.
Okay.
And like the one, the mortician guy was like, it was pretty, I don't know. If he is who he says he is and says that he was there at this site, like, you know, it's basically like the coroner
Yeah.
being there saying like, hey, I saw these bodies. I thought that was an interesting.
So you're not striking
Eyewitness.
him from the record, just Walt, or not Woody. Well,
Just Woody, yeah. Because they even told him to leave. They said, get out, Wood.
We want to hear that shit.
Yeah. Your crackpot theories. But yeah, no, that guy.
So I mean, so they swept that under the rug too. Then the fact that the coroner, or who was it, mortician?
No, so it was the like military coroner. Like he was in charge of the morgue on the military base. So when they supposedly found bodies, they didn't have to call like the state coroner because they had their own military coroner to take care of it, right? Like it's its own military police.
Now let's
and all
let's
that
just say
nonsense.
they found even one body. There's no one person riding a weather balloon. If they found multiple bodies, there's definitely not multiple people riding a weather
Riding that
balloon.
weather
Unless that's how Mexicans used to sneak in here.
I don't think they
Like,
had
that
to
was
back
possible.
then. I think the border was free, like the sunshine,
Yeah. Yeah, if you can survive
like the love
you know,
between
Yeah.
Brazil and
the Native American tribes between here and there, then
Wow,
Yeah.
it's not that long
well,
ago.
it was still wild in the 40s. Oh,
Barely.
I'm leaning back toward weather balloon falls on pedophile ring.
Yeah.
Military pedophile
So they
ring.
make
I
up the
know.
flying saucer thing, and they're like,
Yeah.
wait, this is worse than the pedophile ring.
Just go
Like,
with
I know
it.
we keep joking about it. We shouldn't keep joking about like the pedophile ring because it's not like a laughing matter. But I genuinely feel like we have just
Crack
our
this.
weather balloon has fallen on a pedophile ring in New Mexico that nobody has stumbled upon before.
It's just as likely.
It's just,
Yeah.
Yeah. And this big elaborate fucking story, and you got to talk to 40,000 government officials to get the official story out, the official
Yeah.
narrative. It's like, yeah, they're covering something up. It's either aliens or
has to.
pedophilia. Like, it's one or the other.
how big are weather
no middle
balloons?
ground.
Because this crash site need
don't know.
multiple days of cleaning up.
I'd say probably
This is-
fairly
yeah.
big.
So are you done reading your story? or
No,
have
we
still
got two more quick days. So
okay, because I feel like I thought I've heard somewhere that the where they crashed was like 100 feet wide by like, I don't know, I want to say like 2 football fields long.
What, a weather balloon?
100 feet is
That's-
not 2 football
yeah.
fields.
No, like wide, like the crater. Listen. Like
Yeah.
maybe I
Our
said it
math
wrong,
is fucking
but
horrible.
it was 100. Like the impact of where it hit. It wasn't so much like a hit and like a crater. It was like they hit and skid.
Okay.
So I'm saying that
Okay.
it was like 100 feet wide by like the 200 feet lateral, or you know what I mean, like the dimensions of it.
Mm-hmm.
That was what I read was the size of the impact crater. And now you're telling me that it did, on record, supposedly take at least 3 days worth of cleanup that they're doing. So that kind of adds up there a little bit.
You know,
Right.
and you would think, like, if, like, how much of a cleanup, how important would it be if it was something man-made? To get every little fucking piece, right?
Right.
If
You
it
just
was a
leave
Unless
weather
it was
balloon,
like an
even if
airplane.
it was an airplane, like, how important would it be to get every fucking piece?
Yeah.
They try to get, like, even when there's, like, airplane crashes now, they try to do it because they can, like, it's weird how they can, like, put the plane back together, per se.
Not
Yeah,
1947.
right.
Reconstruct what happened, but yeah, in the 40s,
Yeah, but
they're not
okay,
giving a
I'm
shit about
saying
that.
now, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, if
They're on
you
the
would think
verge of
that if your
inventing
weather
plastic,
balloon,
you know?
if
They're
your
not
weather
worried
balloon
about that.
crashed into anything, you just got to get a fucking ladder and a broom and like just,
Totally.
you know, like I don't think that's a 3-day
Just
thing.
fucking burn it.
Yeah.
I don't
you know?
even.
You guys got to check your fucking like your budget because you are like just wasting money. Like
I don't
they're
even
flying
think you can
garbage to
have
Washington.
like balloon and crash in the same sentence. Like that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's balloon just
Yeah, you-
came down. Like, it can't crash.
it came down, yeah. Just not how we wanted it to come back down. Yeah, I like. It's just like I don't know. I guess
So
it must have been a pedophile.
it's a
ring.
pedophile
Anyway.
ring.
I was gonna say something like that's where I'm leaning.
So on
I
think we're
the
good.
10th of July, the cleanup continues at the crash site. Brazil continues to be interrogated and held at the guest house at the military base. The remaining debris is confiscated from his shed by the Sheriff Wilcox military personnel. And then on July 11th, the MPs and others involved in the retrieval of the debris are debriefed and told to forget about it and that nothing happened. This included Brazil, and following a period of detention, Brazil changed his initial story to line up with a more sanitized weather balloon version.
Hmm.
Yeah, bullshit.
And that's the end of
Sounds like
the
a false
timeline.
confession.
It's
That's
definitely
the end
that's a
of the
Dassey
timeline.
confession for sure.
Oh, that's a dasser.
Yeah.
He just wanted to get at watch WrestleMania.
That's all right. You just wanted to see WrestleMania 1. Yeah, I don't know. So, one thing I read about the weather balloon, and this is, it kind of, I think, is a reason for the cover-up, is that it wasn't actually a weather balloon, but it was a balloon that the military was
for
developing
sound or whatever, right?
No, for like radiation and like to detect nuclear.
Oh, it was through
attacks.
sound though. It was through sound. Yeah.
But it was this, I think also too, like we haven't touched on it, but like 1947, is this 48 it happened?
Yeah, 47.
Like the nukes were dropped less than 5 years prior to this.
New Mexico is a hotbed for testing all that shit too.
Yeah, right.
And we're on the verge of the Cold War. Like at the start of the Cold War.
No, Cold War's already started.
Yeah, that started.
It started.
And right before the Great War.
Right before the second Great War. The second good one.
Well, the Cold War, might have started, but it wasn't like it hadn't picked up a lot of steam. But like in the mid 40s.
Oh yeah, no,
40s,
This is just the beginning of it, right?
Yeah. But they're worried. They're worried, right? So like the government's doing all kinds of weird shit, secretly to try and get the edge.
I could just see though, the government. Yeah, like I think too. One thing that I kind of like that I thought of last night was that like, so the America's dropped a bomb and they're all like big dick swinging right now because they're like, we're the only ones with the bomb. And so what I read was that they were developing this balloon technology to detect radioactive material and could like detect when nuclear bombs were going to be, or like were detonated, I guess.
Yeah, it was like through sound waves. Like I think it was called Project Mogul or something.
But I feel like it's kind of just like, for being the big dick swinger that you are, the fact that you're kind of also developing this technology to detect in case it happens to you.
Right.
It's kind of like not the narrative that America wants to,
right.
Not like
they
we're
don't want
still
to
5
push
years
that.
from the
they don't
bomb,
want to scare people.
like we're still killing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I kind of felt like that was like could be a reason why they didn't want to say that this was what the balloon was. They just said it was this weather balloon, and that is why it took the military did come and take it like 3 days to take it away to Fort Worth, Texas, was because maybe it did have some sensitive material, like shit that, or even maybe it was radioactive in its own right. That it's not something that you want to be fucking with. It wasn't a fucking weather balloon.
Yeah, I think
the government admits that there was a cover up, and their official narrative behind that was it was part of that Project Mogul, basically trying to detect if Russia or whoever was detonating nuclear bombs or explode, like if there was explosions going off one way or another, right? Like that's the official narrative, and that's why they said they did cover up the original flying saucer / weather balloon story was to protect the public interest,
which is fair,
and that's I get it.
Public is morons. We already just went through all this.
Yeah,
like the slack
but they still do nothing at all to get the heat away from the pedophilia ring. Like nothing. They don't even mention it.
Nobody asked about it. I think they did great. Everyone's more bent up on like they're still knocking on that guy's door, Brazel's door, like, and every time he hears that knock, he's just like, well, this is it. Like kisses his wife, like it's been a good run.
Kisses his
and then it's just some like fucking sweaty faced teenager like, can you retell your account of that day when you discovered the alien device? And he's just like, oh god, like,
come down to my basement.
Hello, sir. Can I see in your shed where you held the alien debris? Yeah, alien debris. That's what's in the shed. Alien debris.
Yeah. It's the ball of tin foil.
Alien debris squirted all over the walls.
Yeah. Over by those chains, there's a ball of tin foil.
You call it alien debris, I just call it mine.
Sexual debris, did you say?
You want to see a real flying saucer?
He instantly goes back to talking like he's in 1940.
I learned this from my father's friend, Papa Woody.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
So,
but again, the one guy I saw, the coroner, I thought when I saw his little interview, there was a moment of just like, I don't know, like, did this guy see some shit? Like, he seems like, of all of them, it didn't seem like the biggest of the crackpots. But
well, and there's also like firsthand. Well, I don't know if
also-
it's first. There's also accounts that like hundreds and hundreds, upwards of 600 people, I read, have similar or exact same story as that other person. Could that be telephone game? Could that be because everybody in Roswell's fucking bored in 1947?
Definitely.
So everyone's talking and coming to like this story within their social lives, but there's hundreds of people that report the same things, and some of them report seeing bodies at the crash site. And now, could that have been that the weather balloon came down right smack in the middle of the pedophilia ring? We're not ruling that out.
We're not ruling that out.
We're not ruling that out. Okay, I'm not ruling that out.
It would be
Like
irresponsible to
4
rule that out right now.
yeah, I think that, again, there's more evidence right now to support the pedophilia ring than aliens.
Small coffins, like that's suspect.
Yeah.
Mortician involved? Suspect.
Mm-hmm. Suspect.
Shed?
Yeah.
Shed.
Yeah.
Like the most suspect. As soon as you bring the
most
shed in the
Absolute.
mix.
Everyone's name rhymes.
New Mexico?
New Mexico.
Suspect.
Post the Great War.
Why do you think they left old Mexico?
Yeah.
First Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, no,
well,
and like I did also read this thing where like there's it's like they refer to it as like the Roswell syndrome, about how it's like when this first happened, nobody really gave a fuck that like it was like, oh no, it's just a weather balloon, and everyone was just like, okay, whatever. But then it was like 30 years later, like in the 1970s, was when people actually started to like question what happened at Roswell.
Right.
And that's when it blew into like what it was. And so it's almost, I can't remember them, but it's like the steps of denial, where it's just like there's like 5 steps that usually lead, like Bigfoot kind of falls into the same thing. Like when that, it just kind of with time it turns into like a mythos.
Yeah.
That we all cling to and that everybody has an opinion on based on hearsay, right? And how so many books, there was like 4 or 5 books that got written by like the same 2 dudes that talked about how they talked to like over 300 people, 300 different eyewitnesses. But then like this article I was reading was like, but then when you whittle it down, it's like there's really, of those 300 people, there's only 13 of these people that were actually there that day.
Right.
And like only 7 of them that were actually at the like crash site. So like all this other testimony, like
it's third hand
is all
information.
Expert testimony is all kind of just bullshit, right? And then even that was a lot of the stories that they were hearing was like, well, my daddy was there, or like my daddy's friend was there, and they told him.
Yeah, some of the most interesting testimonies are the people that like worked for the government and confessed to certain things on their deathbed. Now, I mean, how legitimate is that? I don't know, but like that, I find that fairly interesting. The people that want to, like whatever. What do I have to lose now? I'm going to die tomorrow. Here's what I know.
I don't buy it. I don't buy the fucking deathbed confession.
I don't know if
bullshit.
I buy it, but it's interesting.
I'd confess to lots of shit on my deathbed for sure. Just to throw a wrench into
fuck
things
with
before you
people?
leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the Lindbergh baby.
Just give directions to something and not explain what. Just send someone off.
Yeah. Look for a giant X.
1,500 miles north by northwest. Look for the big
Because
X.
like one of the things I saw was like a guy gave a deathbed confessional about, I think, being in the autopsy room with the aliens. And some guy wrote a book about it, but then like his family came out and was just like the last like 5 years before this guy died, like he
was
had
senile.
like he had no idea what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Like you can't use this as credible.
He grew up in Ohio.
Yeah. Just doesn't count.
He
Like,
was a
fuck off.
janitor.
Who gave you this?
He
Yeah.
can spell autopsy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I just find the deathbed confessions interesting when it comes to, aliens or whatever other conspiratorial things, but I mean, I don't know how credible they are.
I want like if I ever did anything like crazy, like covered up a pedophilia ring or aliens, like I think I would like get my lawyer involved, make a recording, and then just
when you're
like,
in your right
lock
mind.
this away in a vent. Not a vent, a vault. Put it in a vent somewhere.
Yeah.
That's your fucking pedophilia training coming back up.
Yeah, no one looks in the vents.
Put this in the I mean, vault.
Floorboard. Yeah.
Put it in the shed.
That's what I would believe. I would believe like an actual like, hey, I'm, this, say it all, say everything. Even if you don't want to, just do it. So when it's all said and done, someone could find that tape and be like, mystery solved. Or just take it to your grave and get away with it.
Yeah.
If you're a leader of a pedophile ring, don't go confessing to that.
Don't believe in anything in vents.
Maybe don't do it to begin with. But
you
if you're doing
should,
it,
and you should also stop doing that.
yeah, just stop doing it. Don't tell
Yeah,
if you're the leader of a
don't tell anyone,
pedophilia
just stop.
if you're leading a pedophilia ring called the Flying Saucer, would it be a confession or a bragging?
Yeah, hard to say. Hard to say.
Where's the line?
Oh,
I need to confess.
Jesus.
I mean, brag about my pedophilia ring.
I mean, like this whole Roswell thing. Like, I think aliens are fairly interesting, and like the fact that they might live among us and they might have visited us, but this Roswell thing is just fucking dry, man. It's so dry.
I'm into it.
It's covered in bureaucracy.
I feel like it goes aliens and then pedophilia ring and then experimental radiation detector. That's my stance.
So you think it was aliens?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going alien.
Full alien. Did they survive the crash?
No,
or
those were bodies. All that stuff.
were there any bodies?
Well, like 4, like you said. And they had to get
You want to hear a crazy story I heard today I was reading about?
Does it revolve around this subject, or are we going off the rails?
Oh, it's specifically this subject.
Okay.
So the story was, have you ever heard of Joseph Mengele?
I have.
Yes.
I don't know.
He was a Nazi
Angel
doctor.
of Death.
Angel of Death, and his specialty was experimenting on children, and his specialty was experimenting on twin children.
Okay.
But so the story I read today was that Joseph Stalin, leader of the USSR at the time, after they invaded Germany, he took Mengele and took him into the military side of the USSR.
Right.
No different than what the Americans
Paperclip.
did, right, for the NASA
Project
project, like we
Paperclip,
talked
whatever,
about. Yeah. So, but he got Mengele to get 4 children to surgically modify them to make their foreheads bigger and their eyes bigger, and sent them on basically it was a missile, but it was supposed to be looked like a plane that they shot at Roswell.
Oh my god.
What are you talking about?
Add to the hysteria.
Sir, this is slander. You cannot just make up these guys' names.
I'm not making this up. That's a true
I like
story.
it. I like it. It holds water.
Fucking Joseph
like it a lot.
Mengele sent 4 fucking kids on the side of a missile.
I've read that.
My chest hurts. What the fuck are you talking?
Oh yeah. No, I fucking.
I think you I hurt the cartilage in my chest.
I read that in my office today, and I nearly lost my shit. Oh fuck!
Ow.
But-
I like it. I like it. That's the one I
But
want to
they did
believe.
it. They did it just to fuck with the Americans.
Just to fuck with them, yeah.
Yeah, just to fuck with them.
That does
Wow.
explain the cover-up. Like after like a bunch of heads of state like fucking played phone tag,
Yeah.
they're like, "This is Mangala's handprints all over it. We have to cover this up."
Or like adds to it that it's like when they first found it, they were like, "Oh my god, it's a flying saucer! Tell the world!" And then like as soon as a real doctor came in, it was just like, "What the fuck? These are children."
These are the eyes of 4 children all just fucking sewn together to make a larger eye. Like,
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
I
it was
like it.
pretty wild.
I like it.
I'm glad I remembered that.
fuck.
Yeah,
at
I'm going
that-
pedophile ring, Mangala, then aliens. You know, like I'm putting that up there. I'm bumping that up.
You've bumped.
There's definitely evidence. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going like the weird nuclear testing balloon.
Yep.
I think that they covered it up, but they're just like it was like it was a you don't need to cover this up, but they did because they thought they were cool. And then I'm going Mangala, and then I'm going alien. No, and then I'm going pedophile ring.
Then alien.
I don't even think there's aliens. Yeah.
Wow.
The reason why I have a hard time believing the weather balloon thing or like the Project Mogul is because they want you to believe that stuff. And
Yeah, the
American
person
government
lying
is
to
like,
you and
they're the kings.
Yeah,
They're the
yeah.
kings that pulling the wool over your eyes. Right?
you can't be like, "This isn't a cover up, but it is a cover up for this other thing." It's like, no.
Cover up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What's
I
interesting?
know I've lied to you
that all
before,
said-
baby, but I'm not lying now. I wouldn't do that.
One thing
do
that I
that to
found
you, baby.
interesting was there was like 3 different times since it happened, the official statement from the military has been like the first time it happened, they said it was a weather balloon, and then in the 90s they did like a internal affair like investigation, and that's where they came out with like the mogul thing, like the nuclear balloon. Right, so now they've changed their story now, right? Granted, it was like 50 years later, but they've changed their story, and they have since recently been asked again within the last 5 years. I can't remember when they got asked again what happened, and they are now basically just saying like we don't know what happened. Like it was it a cover? What was it a cover up? Was it not a cover up? They won't admit to anything at this point.
Yeah, there's been enough time between then and now where they can just be like, we don't know.
Yeah. Which is fine, but I mean...
Yeah.
It was a long time ago. Get over it.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you ask someone what happened to Kennedy, they would tell you the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you'd think you would stick to it.
Right.
Or... I think it just adds... Like, my thing is, like, I think aliens exist. I think aliens have been to Earth, but I don't think they did on this time. That... It's like, hey, if you idiots want to fucking focus on Roswell, go for it. You know, waste your time. You know? Remember in fucking Arizona when all those lights fucking just showed up over...
That's a future
Arizona,
episode. Marfa or some shit lights? I don't know.
I don't even know.
I think it's Marfa lights.
But you know what I mean? I'm just saying, it's like of all
the weather
instances,
control shit? What are you talking about?
There was just like one night in Arizona, there was a bunch of like, I think it was like 12 lights showed up over top of Tucson, Arizona, I think maybe. Phoenix? No, it's Phoenix. Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay.
And like everybody saw
there
it.
was some
the whole
shit over
fucking
LA
city.
too that happened.
Yeah.
Pedophile ring.
I just think all pedophiles. Yeah. I just think like
they've taken to the
we've
skies.
encountered aliens, but the government is just like, hey, if you guys want to focus on Roswell, then go for it. Like, waste your time and energy.
Yeah, we're gonna do this shit over here.
Yeah.
And you stay over there.
Don't bring up these other times that we did these other things.
Well, and that could just been their government learning curve too, where they're like, you know.
I think with that we should switch over to our Ask an Expert from our favorite fan, Brian from Toronto.
Ooh.
And
the Brian, not a new one.
The Brian, and he sets us up with, this time of year we hear the phrase "New Year, New Me," and it's sickening. What part of the body, other than your penis, would you replace with a cybernetic enhancement?
Wow. Oh, fuck. like, I feel like I need like a Whoopi Goldberg joke answer. But in all honesty, I would fix my nose.
You'd
My,
fix,
like, and it's
you'd have
not
a
like,
robot nose.
Yeah, I wouldn't want it to be any different looking. I would just want it to work.
What
I
about
missed
your
the
breathe
question.
out my
I
nose.
totally missed the question. But are we still talking about the pedophile ring, or
No.
what?
I'll reread the question.
Okay, please.
Brian from Toronto messaged us and he says, "It's this time of year where we hear the phrase 'New Year, New Me' a sickening amount. What part of your body,
Hey.
other than your penis, would you replace with a cybernetic enhancement?"
Oh.
And Skyler said he
You're
would just have
going
his
nose?
fucking nose.
If you could pick one thing, it'd be your nose.
Fucking robot
I just
nose.
want to breathe.
What about your fucking shitty eyes? You wouldn't have robot eyes?
Yeah. Eyes
No, I
would be
got
great.
sexy eyes.
Yeah, but they don't work. Same as your nose.
Well, he's got the good eyes in the family too, right? They work.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah. No, they don't. They don't.
Yeah.
Well, they
Why?
worked longer.
He's like,
Yeah. Now that the roommate's got benefits, I'm gonna be getting glasses real soon.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
I would,
Ride that
take
weather
hers.
balloon to the bank.
I would go ahead
Oh, buddy.
and replace my wrists with some robot arms, like elbow to hand.
Wrists.
I have really thin,
Yeah, I can see
almost
that.
lavender-esque wrists.
Jesus.
But then it could be like a multi-tool, right? Like all your shit. you
Yeah,
have a
kind of
bunch
like
shit.
Predator. Yeah, have a little fucking
Like Bob
I-
from The Matrix.
wow, a little glitch
Or-
on there.
The reboot.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'd have. A,
But what about your little ankles?
no,
then?
they're fine. No one can see those.
They're fine. Okay.
They're not the first thing you look at when I meet you and shake your hand, and I see the look of disappointment.
Yeah. Like so anything like if I I don't know.
I'd
I'm
have,
changing my
I'd
answer.
have some
I don't need my
Infinity
nose.
War gauntlets, both hands,
Wow. Just snapping.
just snapping around,
It's like the Jets.
just tiptoeing
fucking
and
shit
snapping around.
Yeah.
So what
Yeah,
are you
I don't know,
changing
like-
it from your nose?
And like, what does cybernetic mean? Like,
I think that's where you interpret it. I'm going Infinity War gauntlets, both arms.
wow, both arms. I'm going. Fuck. I'm going
Yeah,
cybernetic
it's a hard
taint.
one.
Taint?
I'm going the taint. Yeah.
Taint now? You're picking
Yeah.
taint now?
I'm going taint, and it could be like my
Right.
new cybernetic pocket, and I can put things in
Okay.
it. But I can also things can come out of it.
It's like when you get one of those hide keys for your vehicle that magnetics up into
Yeah.
the bottom of your vehicle. You could do that with your house keys. Just kink right to the taint.
Yeah. No,
So
I
you
was,
never
I was also
lose your
thinking like
keys?
loophole in Brian's. He says I couldn't do my penis, but he didn't say that I couldn't have like a sheath that comes out of my taint and then goes over top of my penis.
Wow. Okay.
Right,
okay.
right. Or
Yeah.
even if just
Okay, I like
like,
that.
And I call it the Infinity Gauntlet.
it's my lower gauntlet.
Yeah. And it's always snapping.
I think I would do hands. I'd do hands.
That's mine.
And they just not arm. Like keep my arms. Just hands,
fucking
right?
metal ass hands.
Just
larger, smaller.
yeah. Smaller significantly.
Little raccoon
Right,
hands.
so you could get into interesting places a lot easier. Like little baby hands, like doll hands, but they're just like made out of adamantium steel. You know
Okay.
what I mean? Like just the
We
strongest
know what you
thing.
mean. Yeah. Weather balloon
Oh
material.
yeah, I know what adamantium is.
Of
That's what
course.
my
I got
sheath
a
is
bucket
made
of
out of.
them. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't expect any different.
No,
Right? If we're
it's gonna
dreaming
be a lot of
here.
wear and tear.
Mm-hmm. But like my hands probably get the most damage out of any body part. Next to penis, but they get the most damage, and it's like
Yeah,
if
because
they
your
were
hand
sl-
is next to your penis.
yeah, gotta
Wear and tear
sacrifice,
it.
right?
Wear and tear.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fucking
yeah, I'd say
chicken in the
hands.
egg. So much like you and I are one of the same that if we can't change our penis, we'll just make things to make our penises better.
Penis
Make your
experience a lot
penis
better.
look better by
Yeah.
having little tiny robot hands.
Yeah.
Oh, they're
Who
on
needs
to
a
me.
pedophile
You're on to
ring?
me.
My, have you grown? Good morning.
And there'd be like a warming option too, just like click of a button, clink.
Ooh.
Yeah, nice warming option.
You wouldn't just have it on all the time.
You may. Depends how frisky
Sometimes
you
you just want it fucking like metal cold.
Ooh, gunmetal.
If you're drinking, you want to have your cold drink.
Keep the beer cold.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Dip in one finger and stir your...
You could do that.
You could do
Sky's the limit.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Or I mean, like, I could also get my throat done so I could like sing.
You're gonna go to the full cybernetic eyes, nose, and throat doctor.
Yeah.
The works, please.
My first
I
thought
also
was
just
teeth.
make my everything but my penis cybernetic.
Yeah.
Loophole.
The robot
Called
with
a
the
dick
human
transplant.
penis. I thought teeth would be good too, because they're always getting hurt. You know, they're always fucking.
Oh
up.
yeah, robot teeth.
Robot teeth,
Ooh.
robot jaw.
Yeah, like the James Bond villain. That'd be cool. That looks natural.
No one would make fun of him.
No.
At least they wouldn't be looking at your slippers.
Or your umbrella.
Oh fuck!
I think that's time to call it.
All right,
Time of death. Yeah.
yeah. So like,
Yeah.
I feel like what this is like a weird moment where like RJ, you think it was aliens, but me and Mike both think
Joseph Mengele sent a rocket from fucking Russia. That's what you fucking brought to the
That's just
table.
what I want to believe.
I think so. Yeah. 2 out of 3 experts agree.
Yeah. Mengele.
Joseph Mengele at it again.
Old Joey. All right, Frontline Fiesta, thank you for the intro music. You guys are the best. We are the pretty much experts, and we'll be back next week with another Joseph Mengele inspired topic.
Another pedophile ring story.
We'll uncover a new pedophile ring every week for all of 2019.
Promise. Good. Perfect.
Done.
Thanks everybody for tuning in this week. We are Pretty Much Experts. You can check us out on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and YouTube. While you're at it, go have a look at our Facebook page. You can ask an expert any time of day or night, whatever you like. And if you're into it, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. We want to hear from you, baby. Thanks again everybody. Tune in next week. We are Pretty Much Experts, and we love you, I guess.